What's up, fight fans? Give me 1 second. Let me get set up here, man. I got on late. I wasn't even sure if I was gonna get on right now, but I got home in time. So, well, not in time, but so fight fans. What's up out there, fight fans? Let's get right into this episode. Thank you for tuning in here at Round One Sports TV. I am always your host, Edwin. Where do all fights start? Round one, you know it. So let's get right into this video. No introduction, cause hold you up a little bit tonight. So there's a lot of talk going around in the boxing world right now. With Al Heyman and the PBC and Top Rank. And Top Rank is also hosting the event with Naoya Inoue in Las Vegas. Um, and that fight card has not been put together in its entirety. And just in case some of you are wondering, just like myself, who is on the fight card with Naoya Inoue in Las Vegas, and because there's only like 3 fights announced right now on that card. There's Espinoza, he's going to be fighting on the card, and there's Naoya Inoue, he's going to be fighting on the card, and then there's Rohan Polanco, he's going to be fighting on the May 4th card. I'm going to see if I can catch up to Rohan Polanco in Las Vegas. I'm trying to set that up. I'm trying to set up a couple more things behind the scenes in Las Vegas. I'm trying to get to the connections that I do have and make new ones. So, rumor has it, right, that they're waiting for all these fight cards tomorrow to kick off. There's like 99 fight cards. There's a lot of fights, but it's spread out tomorrow. Some of you might watch the Torres Jr. fight. There's another fight card, a Latin card there. What's his name there? It just eluded me right now. I'm sorry about that. But Abdullah Mason is fighting on that fight card. And one of the guys that are going to be on the fight card in Inoue on May 4th is El General Vargas kid. He just fought. He's been approved for the May 4th fight card. They're trying to see, Top Rank is going to try to see if like Abdullah Mason passes this test. He'll fight on May 4th. So there's a lot of fights going on tomorrow. In fact, that depending on the outcomes of a lot of these fights, some of these young men are going to be put on this May 4th fight card. And these young guys like this, they can do that. I remember when we were in the amateurs, we would box every week. Once a week at least, we would fight. Every Saturday. So fights can be put together. Abdullah Mason is a very active fighter. He has a big challenge in front of him right now. Rumors have it that they want him to fight Andy Cruz. What do you guys think about that fight? Andy Cruz and Abdullah Mason. That's a small little on the low barn burner right there. Two young, hungry individuals that want to climb up to the ladder to put their name and in the ranking system in the top 10 to try to get their shot at a world title. So Abdullah Mason's a bit more further along than Andy, but Andy's name got a big buzz coming from the Olympics. And that's what the Olympic Games can do for you. So things like that, you know. I like that fight. I like that fight a lot. Uh, you know, Abdullah Mason, for me, right? His defense is not that great, and he is very skilled, very athletic, quick on the trigger, punches fairly hard. Abdullah Mason, um, but he gets lost in the exchanges. He starts off defensively sound, right? He'll throw a jab or two and he'll bring it back to where it's supposed to be. In the heat of the exchanges, when the fight starts, his technique starts to, and you can sneak Abdullah Mason in with a good check hook. You know, that guy that had him in trouble, all that kind of trouble, had he not tweaked his knee in that fight, he still dropped Abdullah with a tweaked knee. So, but when Abdullah hit him the first time, he tweaked his knee. He couldn't put no pressure on it. So Abdullah took full advantage of that and took care of the situation. So it was like, yeah, man, like uh I like, I like, I like that fight. So let's see if that fight materializes between Abdullah and Andy Cruz. I want to see that. So these are a lot of potential fights too that will be put on the May 4th Naoya Inoue fight card. The fight card is being put together. There's, like Rohan Polanco. I don't think he has an opponent yet. There's a few people that are on the card that don't opponent yet to be announced. And I think because Top Rank is waiting for some of the young top prospect stars to really um, kind of pack that card with Naoya Inoue. There's going to be a lot of celebrities in the building. I know Bruce Carrington himself and a lot of other fighters are going to this fight to witness the arrival of Naoya Inoue in Las Vegas. Once again, I want to say, but to the people that never got to see him, because coming and fighting in America in the Corona epidemic with no crowd, he had one fight. There was a crowd in attendance in America. It was a smaller venue, I think on the Chacalito undercard, when he fought Nieves. I so there were people there that saw Naoya Inoue, but not at a world boxing stage such as Las Vegas. And you start fighting in the big Las Vegas, you know. As a matter of fact, I think that fight was in Vegas. I think that fight was in Vegas. Naoya Inoue has already fought in Vegas, I believe, twice. But like I said, there was no ticket sales, so we we didn't know he was gonna be this kind of fighter. So now Naoya Inoue is going in against Roman Cardine, and that fight in itself. Let me tell you something right now, people. Um, there's a lot of fight nationalities in boxing, like nationality, race, and creed, all different types of walks of life into the sport of boxing. But one of the races in boxing you gotta respect is Mexican boxing. Mexican boxing has been with us right there. They've been with us like boom, 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 and, that Mexican style of boxing can always present any man with a tough night at the office when performed at its highest levels. Different Mexican fighters have come in and really shown what is the Mexican style. Like the fighters like Julio Cesar Chavez, and many many Mexican legends, bro. So Naoya Inoue is going in against a man that is really trying to change his stars. Roman Cardine has been given an opportunity that most fighters in the world would never ever get. It's not every day you get a phone call for a shot at a one world title, never mind four. This kind of fight right here, it is the highest achievement you can achieve in boxing. There is no higher pinnacle than having all four belts in your division. So, um, when they make you an offer like that, it has to be in the back of your mind. I would assume that you would run that extra mile. You would train those extra few hours, especially coming into a fight against a fighter such as Naoya Inoue is so dangerous of a fighter. Uh, I frontline, what's up, baby? How you doing in the building? I just don't see where um you would slack in your preparation, for a moment like this. Everybody that Naoya Inoue is going to fight from here on in is going to give them their best, whether they're highly skilled or on his level. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's like that one dude that loses to everybody in the freaking neighborhood, and one day you get in an argument with him and fight him, and he fights you like a madman. He got sick and tired of getting beat up, and all of a sudden you fight him, you're trying to get a quick win, and smack him up in front of a couple girls, and he turns around and rips off his shirt and goes, "Let's go!" And you're like, "Yo, what?" Right? And the whole time you're fighting, you're thinking, "You didn't fight this guy like this." Like, you never know when a person is willing to take big risk, big chances. Sometimes a fighter such as Naoya Inoue is so dominant that they kind of fall in this place where they start thinking, all I got to do is show up. All I got to do is show up. This guy's so scared of me. I'm going to beat him. They kind of like Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was there. All I got to do is show up. And Buster Douglas didn't get that memo. You know what I mean? And it was like, bro, sometimes these fighters get in these positions in their career. They get a little laxy daisy. They're winning, knocking people out so much, and all of a sudden you guys want to know, now that I'm just speaking of Mike Tyson, it reminds me of some ridiculous thing I saw on the internet. There's this dude, I think he's Dominican or half Dominican, half Puerto Rican. I don't know what he is, right? I don't think he knows. And he has like these braids and shit. And I think he talks about suspect competition, which his channel is like, I don't know, man. I'm like, dude, you could do that with anybody's career. What is this guy talking about? So he made a video, I think it was yesterday. It was like a short or something. And he said that Berlanga is on a course and is a better fighter than Iron Mike Tyson. His analogy, what he used was Berlanga had 16 first round knockouts starting his career. Mike Tyson only had 2. Then he fought, and the longest run Mike Tyson ever had, he said, was like 6 knockouts in a row before one guy took him the distance or whatever. Then he was showing percentage wise, their level of competition. He was saying that Edgar Berlanga's guys had more wins, less losses than the guys Mike Tyson fought, meaning he was calling Mike Tyson's fighters cab drivers. He's saying that Mike Tyson's guys had less wins and more losses. And he added up the numbers, and he went on a rant about how much Edgar Berlanga's career, knockout career, is that much more superior than even Mike Tyson's. And I was like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Did you really just take the youngest, undisputed heavyweight champion of the world and compare him to a man that's never fought for a world title. Well, never won one because he fought for Saul's. So just now, that first time, you really just compared the youngest undisputed heavyweight champion of the world to a guy with a few knockouts? Is that where we're going in boxing? Did you really have to try to disrespect Mike Tyson by comparing him to Edgar Berlanga? That's right, Edgar Berlanga. Now, Edgar Berlanga is a Puerto Rican. He one of mine, man. I like Edgar Berlanga. I ain't got nothing against the man. But when people start making things like this, and although what he was putting out was facts, Edgar Berlanga has more straight one-round knockouts than Mike Tyson. That's a fact, Jack. Yes, it is. Edgar Berlanga knocked out guys with better records than Mike Tyson did at the start of his career. That's a fact, Jack. I looked it up, right? And everything he said, okay, cool. But we're not playing knockout. We're playing world champion. At the end of the day, Edgar Berlanga, how are you dressing up Edgar Berlanga? What are you making him, the Charles Barkley of boxing? Is that what you just described? You're describing a man with all that success and no belts. The next time you make a video, please do me two things. Leave Mike Tyson out of your videos and don't shit on Edgar Berlanga, bro. Because by using Edgar Berlanga, you're going to make people turn on him. Because now you're comparing him to a legend? And then now everybody's going to be like, oh, man, fuck it. No. And Edgar didn't ask for that. Edgar Berlanga didn't go up there and start smashing his chest saying, I'm better than Mike Tyson. You did. You said that. You made that video. Some of us got big voices in our YouTube platforms. And when I saw that, I was like, are you okay, my man? Like, yo, it was truly ridiculous. You know, guys know how I am with names. So if I gotta just at least have a small piece of see your value for me to remember your name, or at least make an effort to try to remember it, because I respect you in a way, and I didn't even take that guy's name down. I didn't remember what the show was. All I know is T.O. grabbed him by the neck on like one of those, and then David Pacheco's team got into like a little scuffle with him. That's the guy I'm talking about. He has like these dreads. I don't know if he's Dominican or Puerto Rican. I don't know. You know how in this world is now, like the world is broken. Like I know full-blooded Puerto Ricans that are trying to say they're Dominican. I was like, the world got you that fucked up? Well, you gotta claim another race? That'd be like a white dude saying he black. Brother, just be happy with what you got. You are. None of us got a choice in it, right? My mom pushed me out. Here I am. You know what I'm saying? All right, I'm Puerto Rican. Have at it. So what? Right? And it's like when they do these stories, you gotta be the bigger person and say, all right, Berlanga didn't say that shit. Berlanga didn't do that. This fool did. And although he's trying to, like, I guess in a way, maybe promote Latin or Puerto Rican guys, and you know, because what he was doing was actually talking up Berlanga. It's just you got to watch how you're doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like saying Berlanga got more knockouts than Mike Tyson, for better competition. Mike Tyson is a better fighter than Mike Tyson. Yo, my man, that's a stretch. First of all, you're talking about Berlanga in a regulated division, a regulated weight division. You're comparing a fighter that knocked out 16 fighters in a sanctioned weight division rather than Mike Tyson fighting anybody weighing anything at any height. The numbers don't tell the story on what he's saying. You're comparing Edgar Berlanga's knockout streak on a sanctioned division fight, meaning you guys were in a certain weight. You couldn't exceed or amount right there. Mike was getting in. Yo, you can have 50 pounds on Mike Tyson. Guess what? Fights going on. Edgar Berlanga wasn't knocking out guys like that. So when you think about putting Edgar Berlanga's knockout streak against Mike Tyson's, brother, what are you doing? No. All them people gotta do is to shut that whole bullshit concept down is, okay, what have you accomplished? All that skill, all that knockout, where's your belts? Huh? Come again? How many divisions you do that in? Say what? Como? No correa? No belt? You see what I'm saying? So when they're dressing up some of these guys or trying to help out some of these guys, I'm with it. I'm with it. But I'm gonna help my guy in the best way possible, and I'm gonna talk about him so that he can get the less kickback. I'm not gonna tie him to other people, other fighters, so that you can debate that. I'm just gonna talk my fighter up. I'm gonna give you the good, the bad, and the ugly on the fighter. That's it. I'm not gonna try to fucking soup him up over another legend. You're gonna get people that love that legend that gonna come out and lash out at Edgar Berlanga for no fucking reason when Edgar didn't do this. So if you happen to catch that video and the one I'm talking about, bro, just ignore it. Just let it go. Don't debate it. Don't even comment on it. Because comment yes, no, or giving your opinion helps him out. Don't do any of that shit. Just ignore shit like that. Like right now, the problem we're having with Turkey Al-Sheikh and the PBC and the Top Rank, and let me ask you guys something right now. For everybody that said Al Heyman wasn't going to kiss the ring or bend the knee, or Turkey Al-Sheikh money ain't no good. Sure. What sport are you guys talking about? What you mean Turkey Al-Sheikh's money is no good? What money in boxing is good? I'll wait. Please, come up here and I'm dropping the link, man. Tell me what money in boxing is good and where'd they get it? Where'd they get that money from? Who sponsors and promotes Bob Arum, Queensbridge, Ed Hearn, Al Heyman? Where's Al Heyman get his money from? What? You mean you can get money from mobsters, gangsters, guys that are trying to clean money, betting on fights? That money's clean. But Turkey money's dirty? When I was growing up, cash is king. Cash is king. You got cash, we can talk. That's how I was raised. I don't give a hell. They in the Middle East, they this, that, and the third. Cool. I ain't never been to the Middle East. I assume from what I see on the TV or something, I ain't never lived out there. Guess what? They ain't never lived out here. Them dudes was trapped in them castles with all that sand, right? They had all that money, bro. They brought that shit over here. And now people are saying that the PBC and Al Heyman and Top Rank, this dude is done. This dude is done. He ain't fucking with boxing. Terrence Crawford ain't fighting Saul Canelo Alvarez. The next day, yes, he is. Everything's all over the place. I'm gonna tell you what, Al Heyman, from me to you, don't listen to these fools bending the knee, kiss the ring type shit, right? It sounds good, and it makes you feel like if somebody says that about you, Al, is that how you view yourself? Do you view yourself as a bending the knee, kiss the ring type dude? No, then that's not what you are. You're a real businessman, a real tycoon in the sport of boxing. You swam in shark infested waters with the rest of these fucking sharks, right? Now, Al Heyman, it's time for you to take your piece of the pie. You're the last entity. Had you came a little bit earlier, TKO boxing probably never gets invented and Dana White never gets called up. Because we can work together. Bob Arrowman and the PBC, they got a lot of fights right now that they rumor fights that they're coming together now, and it shows. It shows, bro. Y'all promoters got to stop being greedy because for every fucking dollar you're trying to squeeze out of these fighters, you guys are also killing boxing. And even though you guys celebrate and have a big night and a major big good numbers in the pay-per-view, good gate, it seems like the boxing promoters themselves go on hiatuses too. Like when we talk about these boxers going on hiatus for a year, well, you need to keep these boxing promoters accountable too. They give us a fight and all of a sudden they're popping bottles and no fights are being scheduled. And then all of a sudden they come back from their hiatus, talk about we don't have it in the budget. Motherfucker, if you would have conducted your promotional boxing business as such and started fucking spending everything, you would have had money for these fights. And it's comical when you hear some of these boxing promoters themselves say, I believe in this fight and I want this much money for the fight. Then all of a sudden they're like, nah, we ain't paying that. Let's go to a purse bid. And somebody swoops in and buys the fight allegedly for like 1 point something million dollars. You ever ask yourself, why didn't the boxing promoter himself buy the fight? If it was so cheap, if he believed in his fighter that much, why doesn't he come out of his pocket? Why didn't Devin Haney buy his own fight? Think about it. And some of these guys are pricing themselves out. They really are. And I can't blame some of these guys for trying to get the bag. Who am I to tell Edgar Berlanga what he's worth? Who are you to tell him what he's worth? If the man's trying to max himself out or price himself out for some of these fights, all right, bro. If you get it, then congratulations. But if you waste your time and you're sitting on the shelf and you ain't making no money, some money is better than no money, right? Then to stay active, you're fighting a guy that got out of prison, did about a 10-year bid. It's not really looking good for a fighter like Edgar Berlanga than asking for all this money. But fighting is a brutal sport. And I will never, ever come out and say to a fighter, oh, you're pricing yourself out. Oh, you're asking for, because I'm going to tell you right fucking now, the money is not worth it. The money is not worth it. That $173 million Tyson Fury won, or got, all this kind of money these fighters are getting, right? That's not worth it. Nah, it's really not. I mean, if you can get out of the career with a least amount of damage and enjoy your money, now you did something. I think that Floyd Mayweather, I think Mike Tyson is pretty decent. He looks pretty good. Yo, I got my chats going off over here. Let me read y'all comment. What's up, Legend? What's up, Troll? How you guys doing? Frontline in the building. Good money. We can't even be sure fights aren't fixed. Worked on. Um. Uh. uh Damn, Troll. That's a big one right there because Al Hain, man, I could be here all night. I don't want to go down this rant, right? I can name off certain situations for almost every boxing promoter. Didn't Ed Hearn just get charged with paying off officials, right? Um, Bob Arum lost in court for not paying fighters or some shit like that. Bob Arum um, um, and taking Al Heyman lost in court for overpaying fighters, and they wanted to see where he was getting the money from. And he couldn't explain it because I guess a lot of mob ties, you know what I mean? Right. There's just been so much corruption in boxing, and it's like Turkey comes in, right? They start saying, yo, you see that picture they took? It looks like demonic. Tank started saying that shit. And I'm like, these people are fucking crazy in the world, right? Whenever they want to like break something, the people, the consensus are the people that break the world. We're like doing this ourselves and then wondering why the world is broken. Like, you mean to tell me that Turkey Al Sheikh's money is like oil money is no good compared to mobsters' money, drug money, fucking God knows what else? What are you guys saying? You guys do remember that this sport was corrupted as fuck, right? More corrupted people coming in and corrupt. Well, come on in. You got money? Let's go. Right? Like boxing wasn't this way. Stop it. At least they're trying to fix some shit. They're trying to like narrow it down, try to give us some of these best fighting the best type shit. In which best fighting the best. Okay. I'm sitting here and I'm just going on my show, and I can't help but think, fuck, if the PBC is working with Top Rank, is this Tank Davis and Loma fight gonna happen finally? And if Al Heyman is finally working with the PBC, that means that all Al Heyman's fighters now are gonna be like Turkey's fighters. All this shit Tank said, they're gonna back Tank in a corner. They're gonna make Tank Davis fight him. I think Al Heyman finally woke up and started seeing the writing on the wall. He started seeing that his biggest superstar, Tank Davis, is talking about retirement. He's also like 30, so he's getting up there in age. It's time to cash out on Tank. All the fans are starting to turn on him. He's still one of your biggest cash cows. Al Heyman is going to force Tank Davis to take these fights. He's going to try to cash in on him. His fighters are getting a bit older. He's got a good stable. I mean, he's got a couple. PBC's got a couple decent fighters. I mean, he does have David the Monster Benavidez still. I mean, for as much as whatever, take it from there, whatever you feel. David the Monster Benavidez is still a great fighter, and he's got good market. So I think Al Heyman's only option here was to finally work with these guys. Because you gotta see the storm that's coming TKO. Turkey's not playing. What's up, legend? Let me read y'all messages and shit. Let me catch up to y'all. Salute, baby. Yeah. What's up? Salutations, my brother, angry white guy. Please don't forget to hit that like button for me. Al Heyman must be like, that's Al Heyman. He's about to make a power move, but it's good. It's good. All these people talking about this turkey shit and stuff, right? That oil money was keeping boxing alive for a little while. Tell me what we would have watched. He didn't give you some massive fight cards for $25, right? And I'm like, man, and he already gave us two unified fights, world title fights between Demetrius Bivol and Arthur. And he put that together like that. He had some great fights on those cards. And I had Turkey was keeping this shit going. The rumor of ESPN leaving Top Rank and Turkey wiping his hands with boxing in 18 months to focus on the TKO shit. He'll still be involved in boxing, but he'll be doing his league. You guys don't want to let this dude slide out the back door, guys. That was the plug right there. He got the money, bro. How y'all gonna let the money walk out the building? Like, stop being so goddamn greedy. Stop wanting your name in the center of the ring, or whose name is on the back of a shirt, or who's getting a bigger cut, or this and that. Listen, bro. You got a bigger star than my star. You don't deserve more than me because he's making more money than your guy. And a lot of this shit starts to, you know, I think just percentage wise off everything. Would your fighter make last? Would you do who you are, star status? Give me a percentage, take this percentage, boom. Whatever the computer says, let's agree to that and let's go. Let's learn that these fighters have to establish their own market value as well. Meaning, yeah, sometimes look, for instance, what did Brian Norman Jr. just make his last fight? What was he offered to fight Jaron Boots Ennis? He wasn't even the main event. So I'm gonna tell you right now, if he made $600,000 in that fight, I'd be shocked. I'd be shocked. $300,000 is all I think he made in that fight, somewhere around that area. You're not the main event, and that's for a world title fight right there. So it goes to show you that this turkey money, it changed a few lives. Even that dude, what's his name? That dude that fought Shakur Stevenson. He was an electrician, right? And Turkey had him quit his job, got him an apartment or whatever, told homeboy, you ain't never going back to work. I'm gonna keep you busy. This is your life now, right? And a lot of people were like, oh, he was an electrician. I'm like, you guys do realize that like 95% of all boxers all have jobs. There's only 5% that can quit their job and do boxing full time because they're making enough money. There's not a lot of boxers that came into boxing and had a great life. They got to fight and go back to work. Look at Nieves fighting Naoya Inoue, right? Nieves was a teacher. After the fight, he went back to work. There are a lot of fighters that have professions, but to the naive person that just thinks, what do you think? 95% of all these boxers just rising up, back on my feet, right? From the slums. No job. Who the hell is paying his rent? Who's paying for his clothes, his food, his training? Where's he getting the money from? He ain't no prize fighter yet. Abdullah Mason, Xander Zion, kids like that, they got big family support. The Vargas kids, they got sponsorships from their father's name and they got a good start. But for the rest of us, we're we're just regular people. On the side we box, on the other side we go back to our job. That's 90% of all fighters in the world live exactly like that. Just in case you don't know boxing, when you get to that threshold where you tell your boss, peace, I don't have to work anymore. I got enough money, a little egg stacked up that I can kick off my career and go with it. You know what I'm saying? And that's when you make that decision. You're going to do boxing full time. You ever heard them? Oh, now I'm doing boxing full time. When they say that, they just left their job recently to concentrate on boxing full time. And usually you'll have like a corner or something. That's where the mob used to come in to young struggling fighters that didn't have the money to pay the coaches, the meals, the equipment. Then all of a sudden, back in the days, like in the 70s or whatever, you'll get this guy walk in. He'd be a wise guy. Hey, let me talk to you, kid. I seen you the other night in the ring. You look pretty good. You got the good jab, kid. Nice right hand. Hey, who's managing you? Oh, yeah? Yeah, that guy don't got a pot to piss in the window. Listen, kid, take this. Buy yourself something nice. Listen, I want to be your friend. I want to be your friend. And anything you need, just ask me, Uncle Tony. Okay? Forget about it. Then all of a sudden, you fucking signed up with the devil, bro. Because a lot of these guys don't got the money to support their career in the beginning. That 9 to 5 is paying maybe your rent and for your children, maybe, and for food and everything. And it's very little money for you to get some Adidas boxing sneakers, a mouth guard, another pair of gloves because you just ripped through those. As a matter of fact, you're gonna need several pairs of boxing gloves. Them shits ain't cheap. You're gonna want to get yourself at least a $200 pair of boxing gloves, and those are the ones that you just hit the bag with. Then you want to get another pair of boxing gloves, the ones you spar with. You don't want to keep wearing down the same gloves, the ones you hit the bag with and the ones you spar with. Then there's another set of boxing gloves you're gonna have to get, which has the weights in it. You ever see them? They put them on. They're smaller, but they got like sand or anything because it keeps your hands heavy. So while you shadow box, or you want to shadow box with some dumbbells. Oh, speaking of dumbbells, if you don't have them, you're gonna have to buy some of those too. Some more hand wraps. So boxing is expensive sometimes, but there's people in the sport that look out for other boxers coming up. There's been a lot of kids that they mom couldn't buy mouth guards and things like that, and there's been men like me, we go out and we fight, and we take $500, $300 with us. We put the 500 on ourselves, and without anybody else knowing, nobody knows I did that. I go out there and knock the dude out, win the money. Then the next day, I would go down to the Olympic sports store, and I'd be like, "Let me get 10 mouth guards, 7 hand wraps. Let me get, and then come back and just put it in kids' lockers and shit." I didn't ask to be awarded, or I didn't ask for anybody to recognize that. I didn't None of that shit. I could see a kid struggling. I could see him like I've seen kids. take hand wraps out the trash and wash them in the sink themselves. Use hand wraps just to wrap them their hands. I've seen kids uh, right in the locker room. We exchanged sneakers, boxing sneakers, and shirts because we didn't have enough shirts. So no sooner he went out and fought, got all sweaty, came downstairs. Let me get that shirt. Poop. Let me get them sneakers. Poop, poop. We didn't have enough, but we wanted to fight. So I mean, that's you know what I'm saying. That's giving back to the sport and shit. You know, people that do shit like that, and these are the people that work. They work regular 9 to 5 jobs, out of their job, tired as fuck, train. And then sometimes their boss knows they got a fight schedule. He'll give them a little bit of time off to train because even the boss will know about them on TV and the guy's trying to move up. And, you know, people work with fighters. They do. Once you become like a pro, like people, you're like your town or, you know, you start making a little buzz. People start promoting you and sponsoring you. And one day you can, just maybe you can get to that point and say, I can quit my job now and do boxing full time. Concentrate on boxing, man. And that's usually where we all want to get to, you know. But it's not like that for all of us. So, you know, and these are some of the things that Turkey does, you know, for all of us. You know, like he gave us a lot of these fights. You know, now I gotta respect Jake Paul bringing Netflix, another entity, another platform where we could stream and watch these fights. So look, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I always said it, bro. I didn't know what the hell these dudes tweaking about Turk, right? The only thing I was ever tweaking, I'm still gonna be tweaking on Turkey about this one because I'm not playing when it comes to this. Turk, stop fucking with the alphabet belts. Stop trying to like hide them and make it like forget about them, your belt type shit. I get what you were doing. I get it. I get it. But I can't watch boxing. We've gone too far. I can't think of boxing without these damn belts. And even though I know how corrupt and how things are, name me a sport that isn't. Any sport in the world, just text it in. Tell me a sport that's on the up and up. Baseball, football. I'll wait. I'll be right here. And tell me a sport that is on the up and up. So when we think about boxing, let's not be so harsh on it. You know, we're recovering. We're trying to get it together right now. You know, and there's a lot of entities that are coming into the sport and they trying to like keep the sport alive. I just dropped the link right there. Let me like make sure you guys are seeing when my things and I can see all you guys' chats. Cause sometimes like this, it doesn't all your chats don't come up. I noticed that. I did. So where am I here? Okay, okay, okay. I see what I did. That's what's up, guys. Don't forget to hit that like button. But oh man, I didn't even mean to do that. Here we go. Salutations, my brother. you know, you know, that was the only thing I had with Turk was the fact that when like Arthur Benavidez won, when he won all those belts, I knew the significance of that night. Me. I knew, at least I did. And that was the first time that I recognized in a fight that big that all 5 belts were on the line, right? Well, 6, I guess. All 6 belts were on the line, right? The belts were the WBC, the IBF, the WBA, the WBO, and the IBO, the European belt was on the line. That's 5 belts. And then the Ringside Magazine. So in that fight, that's something I fantasize as a kid. Ever getting to that pinnacle and holding all the belts. And I wanted to see it. I wanted to see Arthur draped out with all 5 belts on him. And you know what I saw? I saw Turkey Al-Sheikh make this fucking tin rinky-dink freaking belt that said like undisputed. It was like silver, gold. It had real big words on it. And I was like, get that tin can piece of shit belt out of here. What is that, a hubcap from a fucking Mitsubishi? What the hell is that belt? Get that garbage the hell out of here. That's not what was on the line. That's not what you was fighting for. What you were fighting for that night were these belts. And the fact that he said, nope, you're only going to put on 1 belt. The belt I made up. Yeah, the one you just made up. That shit don't mean nothing. Give me my hard work. Show me. I want to feel a taste of the glory. I want it all draped out like boom, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? Like, and this motherfucker went and he put a hubcap on a fucking belt and with a magic marker wrote undisputed. He might as well did that shit, right? Because that shit was garbage. That's the only thing I had against him. That's all I've ever been saying since day one. I don't like how he's trying to do away with the belts. I didn't like how he had Tyson Fury and Usyk's fight, and on the last post fight when they were like coming out the plane type shit that he was like setting the knife out, they had the belts finally on the table. The last fucking day, like the last press conference, he finally let the belts. Remember when Saul just recently was on stage with William Skoll, right? And they were like having a face-off for the unification for all of Saul Canelo Alvarez's belts at 168 and the one they stripped from him from the IBF. Go back right now. This just happened like last week. Saul standing here, Williams here. Saul reaches back to grab his belts, and the dude that had the Ringside magazine, like he's a representative from Ringside Magazine. He looked at Saul and the dude and went, nope. And Saul looked at him, looked at the guy from the WBC. The WBC representatives has the WBC belt in his hand. For as powerful as the WBC is, they're the best belt in all of boxing, right? They couldn't give Saul that belt. The only belt that was being promoted was the Ringside Magazine that was in between them, that the guy was holding it himself. He didn't allow any of the alphabet belts to be displayed. And I'm like, y'all motherfuckers is pushing Turkey to the point where he's going to have to fight against the alphabet belts because you guys don't want to work with him. Because you guys like the way in the corruption boxing is. These greedy ass promoters and all these people that got boxing fucked up, they don't like change. They just like lining their pockets up with all this dirty money that you can filter and clean. That's why Al Heyman got brought to court. That's why Al Heyman got found guilty. That's why Ed Hearn got found guilty for paying up judges. That's why Top Rank also got found guilty, and Bob Arum was his own lawyer in court and lost. All that dirty ass money. So Turkey's money is, what is it? More dirtier than ours? Money's money, bro. And if you're doing it to save the sport, I'm with you, right? The only thing is, I might be a little older or whatever, but maybe I'm at that point where I might be pushing back against change and I'm speaking about change. And at the same time, like, but I can't see the sport without the belts. I don't want to see no rinky dink 10 belt that no world champion I've known ever hold it. Man, I know Mike Tyson held these belts. I know Floyd Mayweather had the WBC. I know Ali had the WBA for a long time. And when you get them, the first thing I'm going to think about is how they felt. And all the world champions before me that have the same exact belts, not no 10 fucking hubcap. They weren't rocking that belt, bro. And I just can't wrap my head around it. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, my favorite fighters had Felix Trinidad had the IBF, bro. That belt right there. He didn't have no faked up, made up shit. No. If I ever had an opportunity to make it there and my life wasn't cut short in a different path, that's exactly the belt I was going after. I want the belt my legends held. I want that belt Hector Camacho held in his hands. You're fucking right, I want that goddamn belt. I don't want to fight for anything else. This motherfucker started playing with them belts. That shit pissed me off. I don't want nothing else. I don't want to fight you for your tin can. Mm-mm. Did you say WBC? Where we fighting? Yeah. I want that belt that fucking Miguel Cotto's had around his waist. Now we talking. I want those belts. I'm pretty sure if you saw the belt Sugar Ray Leonard had, Floyd had, whatever champion was your. I don't want no TKO belt. What the fuck is this? I ain't never seen none of my champions hold this shit up. Right? So if change is gonna come, it would have to come in like my kids' generation, I guess. But I'm too far along. I've been 30 plus years with this system of boxing, and not to say that I won't evolve with the sport because I'm willing for change. Change but slightly stay the same. We can keep, like, we don't have to take the boxing ring and turn it into a circle or a triangle. What's wrong with the square? Leave it the fuck alone. We can still fix boxing, just leave the boxing ring square and leave these belts the same color. We're good on my end. Everything else is fucking corrupted. Let's fix it. Just leave the fucking ring alone. Ali fought in a square ring. Mayweather fought in a square ring. Manny Pacquiao fought in a square ring. I don't want to fight in a round ring. I want to fight in a square ring and go around in a circle. That's why they call it the square circle, because it's a square and you go in a circle all night. That's where the phrase square circle comes from. Yeah, troll. And that's the thing. Like, that's the only thing I had with Turkey. That was it. That was it. That was it. I knew. At least I did. I knew that night with Arthur. I was expecting one of them to show me what I wanted to see. All 5 belts. Like that, baby. Like, I could not imagine what that's like. Yo, I'm not even playing, bro. I wouldn't take them belts off for like a week. Everywhere I went, there'd be a belt here, belt here, belt here. Hey, Judy, how you doing? Hi, Marvin, doing your good grass and all my belts. And then I'm just talking like normal, like nothing's happening. Yeah, just caring about my day. Those belts would not come off me, bro. Everybody and their mama would know who I was. And if you didn't see it, guess what? Right? Yo, that would be like one of the most proudest moments. Like, I couldn't explain what that would feel like. I've never, bro. I won a fucking boxing trophy when I was a kid, and I lost my mind. All right, right, right. Imagine if I win a belt. Oh, I'm not gonna cry over spilled milk. Is my life? It was what my life was, but you know, we don't make the best decisions. But if I did, bro, I don't want none of that other garbage. I want what my legends had. I want to feel. I want to see. I want my belt, my shit. It's got to match yours. It has to. Shit, I don't even like the interim belts because they don't even look that much the same sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Set the WBC gold, right? That's some shit, right? Yeah. Nah, I don't want nothing else. Man, that was my only thing. That was my only thing with Turkey. I hope Al Heyman and the PBC stick around. They're good for boxing. They've been around for boxing a little over 10 years now. The PBC's been around. Bob Arum, top rank, he's probably been around the longest. Besides, like, believe it or not, Don King is still kicking around. He's still promoting fights, Don King. So Bob Arum and Don King come from that, and Don King was a tycoon. That man, Don King, that was a real gangster. A real one. You know the gangsters that live like in the spotlight? They live by with a smile. Only in America, baby. Only in America. Hair out like this, always smiling, had a little bit of jewelry on. Don King, them flags, he puts them shits down and that smile goes off his face. And he fades into a group of like 10 fucking goons. Don King. That motherfucker. Look, I'm not, in this social media era for everything you say, they can hold shit against you, I guess. I know a few stories about Don King. Like real stories about Don King and the people that were in the room type shit. He was a beast. Don King was a beast in his days, bro. No wonder he was locked up all that time like that. But I mean, I never thought about it back then because I thought they were all like that. I thought they were all like that. I mean, look at little ass Bob Arum. You think he's been around this fucking gangster fucking lifestyle of boxing? That little old man, and he just walks around like, and nobody extorts him. Nobody tries to take top rank from him. With all these gangsters and criminals that'll be up in like the county, like what they're investigating Bob Arum for right now to this very day, with Tyson Fury and the mob ties that Tyson Fury had. Actually, that Canahan dude, that mob dude, I heard he was paying fighters pretty good, and I heard he was actually doing shit. He was just into some bad shit. That's all, and it got him hemmed up. I think they were trying. The mobster family was trying to turn the corner and like take their dirty money and become legit. But when every famous gangster ever try to do that, the world stops them in their tracks. Like Pablo Escobar. Pablo Escobar went to them and told them, make me an elected official and I'll stop the drugs going to America from here, from Cuba. And he wanted to be a Cuban politician and wash his money. And one of the people stood up right there and was like, motherfucker, you're a drug lord. And half these people in here, you're paying them. Yes, he had that guy killed, and the majority the next day of those people out of rage because they didn't allow him to to come in the game with dirty blood money. And a lot of people try to do that. Powerful men that started off criminals and gangsters, and they try to turn the corner in their life, and people call them out and recognize them. Bro, didn't you just like sell him 10 kilos right last week? Like, dude, you're a drug dealer, like, right. So and even like I always like used to look up like world leaders and men of power. I was a real bug with that, right? Like I just found a lot of different men live interesting lives, you know. And what was that dude's name? That Napoleon. That apparently they said he was short. He wasn't all that short neither. But I guess Napoleon was on some gangster shit. And like when he was 19, he was like in the military. He done did some shit in his time. But his brother was like a politician, Napoleon's, right? Was like his brother was like some politician or some shit like that. But when he tried to be like one of them, they exiled him. They sent him to Egypt. And he was on some other shit. I remember I read that book about him like when I was like 14. I can't remember everything right now, but I used to know a lot about him. And like in world leaders and like Kong there, like people that almost took over the entire planet, like the Chinese dynasty, you know, the Roman Empire. Like I looked up all those kind of guys, and who was the guy that was like that close from like taking over everything. I was intrigued by men like that, men that weren't scared to venture out and take over land, men that weren't scared to. Those were different kind of men. I really truly think that those men could not be bought. You couldn't burn the desire of them wanting to conquer, continuously conquer the world. And it was like, no matter what you would say to those guys, like, yo, you know, they're in the room with you. I'll give you $10 million. Don't kill me. He's like, all right, where's the $10 million? Right here. Okay. You take lighter fluid, pour it on the $10 million and throw it out the window. He's like, why'd you do that? I don't, I don't do this for the money. You can't, there's nothing you have that can buy that man. Even if you was to tell him, yo, I'll give you this part of the land, it's not going to satisfy his fire. He's just going to go past that line and try to conquer the next part. You can't buy them. They don't have a price. The ambition they think alone in their head, that drive that some men have, that shit is priceless. I wish I had that kind of drive, bro, where I was just like, no. Like those kind of men's outlook in life must have been like, it had to be in my head. They have a plan A and they have a plan B, right? Plan A is to take over the world. Plan B, enforce plan A. That's what plan B is. Enforce plan A. There is no plan B for those type of men. They were just born to fucking rule. Either by strength, intimidation, by peace, whatever way. Somehow, some way, those type of dudes, they get out of bed and that's all they fucking think about. World domination. I used to laugh at that show, Pinky and the Brain, where the two little mice used to get up and, what are we doing today, Pinky? Same thing we do every day, trying to take over the world. And you know, I just used to look up a lot of like interesting guys like that. I used to try to like, what was the end game, my man? Did you do it for shits and giggles? Did you do it just because you could? Did you do it because there was a purpose? Did you do it because the greater good? Did you do it for evil? Did you do it, you know? And that's what I wanted to know. I tried to like relate to see what were they thinking in those times? Where was their vision? And it's hard because there's always pieces, huge pieces missing out of people's lives that every day they want us to ignore. The world is crazy, right? Even this Jesus thing, right? And I don't mean to get into religion, but Jesus was some baby, 33 years passed, and he pops up, and all of a sudden his life kicks off from there. But there's 33 years that are not explained. Where were you? Oh, we were hiding him because they were gonna kill him. He was born under the star. Yeah, I heard I, I'm very my family's very religious. I read most of the Bible already. I know the story. I'm very familiar with all this. No one can tell me what the hell he was doing for 33 years. There's a huge gap, right? That's how the world is. It's like they tell you these stories about these men and women that live extraordinary lives. And I'm the kind of person I notice these subtle things, these little things. I don't know why my brain works like that, but I do. I do. And I'm like, but wait a minute. What the you got some explaining to do, right? That's the way my mind works. You know, but that's I always admired powerful people and the men and women that had the courage to take that extra step in those times, you know, and in these times, you know, it's the same thing. 10,000 years ago is exactly what it's like today. The only difference is technology and we've evolved different. We all that's happened from here to 10,000 years is our tactics. Our tactics have changed. The game has changed, but the ambition for the same goal has never changed. There's men that always want to chase power. Power in any form is going to stay the same. The years might have changed, our clothes might change, you know, we might have built a few more things. It's the same shit though. Same shit was going on 10,000 years ago. It's going on right now. Whether you had a stick or stone or an AK-47, it's like people say, if we take away all the guns, there'll be less violence. Really? Let's think about that. Take away all the guns. You guys are just going to make slingshots or bow and arrows. You guys are going to still kill each other. If there's no bow and arrows and slingshots, you guys are going to make swords. We've already been down this road. It's not the weapon, it's us. I never seen a gun kill a person in my entire life. What I did see was a human pick up a gun and shoot another person. That's what I saw. I didn't see the gun jump out of the drawer and get up and shoot some kid. I've never seen that. Somebody has to pick that gun up. If you don't got a gun to pick up, you're just going to pick up a rock. If you don't got a rock, you're just going to pick up a sword. If you don't got a sword, do you see what I'm saying? It's just different tactics. But if the message is the same you're sending out, you're going to get the same results. If you're putting out this message that we need to be out on the block shooting each other, selling drugs, fucking bitches, doing all this shit, the message is the same. Go ahead and take away the guns. They're just going to have swords, selling crack, fucking bitches with swords. Nothing's, because the message is the same. You change the message and you change how we raise our kids and how we should get behind our brothers and sisters, protect our mothers, and be fathers of the household. Now you're changing things. Now they'll just put down the guns. You won't have to tell them to put it down. There'll be no need for them. But as long as the message is fuck bitches, shoot, bling bling, then it's not the gun. The problem is not the guns. It's us. It's us. We're going out killing each other. We're filling up these jails for slave wagers. They did away with slavery, but right before your face, industrially build massive jails. It's no secret. America has the most prisoners on anywhere on the planet. There's no other place on this planet that they got more people locked up than the United States. Oh, and I'm going to tell you something. That's all free slave labor. You ever see them on like those little jail shows and shit? They got them packed in there like 30 in one room like sardines. That be happening in California all the time, in Texas, Detroit. You pick it. Philly right now, bullpen is packed with like 40 people right now, right? They're all transferring to get to a bigger box so that they can get sentenced, given a lot of years, to go to another square box where they're sent off to work for the warden for what? For free. Slave wager. You have, why you think people buy jails, rich people? It's an investment. You mean to tell me I can have over 4,000 inmates in a building? I get contracts with the city, road repair, cutting down trees. You know what a chain gang is, right? Okay. Building shit for the schools, desks and stuff, chemicals. So the warden gets a contract with the city. That's 100% profit off the sweat and hard work of inmates. They work for 8 hours a day before they can go back to their room, to their bunk or have yard. They got to get that out of the way. And then all the work you did for the last pass, the warden just takes 100% of that. He doesn't pay no overhead, no insurance on his workers. He doesn't even pay his workers. They don't pay them a penny. In some prisons, they'll give you like 35 cents a day, $1.05 for some of them, like the lifers, and they'll give you that shit. But that's 4,000 dudes. Strong mofos too. I got 4,000 free slaves. Because that's what they are. Every man and woman, no matter what nationality you are, as long as you're in that building, you are a slave to that man right there, the warden who's ever running that jail. He doesn't pay you shit and he keeps all the money. It's a fucking business, bro. And the message is, get money, fuck bitches, end up there. Like, these kids are all over TikToks, like posting, post a Glock without a Draco, without a thing, and show me what gun you have. That's the trend. Get a gun, get into beef. Oh, before you pull that trigger, right? Who'd you leave your bitch with? You're about to do 25 years. You're about to get a boyfriend. So, you gonna do a drive-by tonight? Where you live at? Where's your girl at? Don't worry, by the morning, detectives will be kicking down your door. One bad bitch out here just lost a man. Woo! Oh, her life gotta stop because you went to jail? Her life, she's gotta wait for you? Is that what you think? Is that what you think? You think that shit don't be scratching at night? Huh? Oh, so because you chose to be a gangster, she's got to be faithful to you and write you notes and send you commentary for how long? I mean, I don't know too many people that get 1 year for a body. How long you think you're gonna be in there for? Yo, we gotta save our kids, man. We gotta save our kids because this shit is getting out of control. It's like I fell victim to the same shit. I fell victim before I woke up. I was already 50 years old, bro. And like I was just like, fuck. They played me, bro. I was such a fucking punk. Me. I I was a punk, bro. Yes, yeah, man. I did a lot of stupid shit, bro. In the name of a fucking street corner. What I thought was respect. What I thought is what I had to live up to. I thought that I wanted 20-inch rims. I thought I wanted the bling bling. I thought I couldn't live without it. Like I'm still trying to dull it down. Like I only wear a little bit of jewelry now. Like, but I was that dude, man. I got like pictures and shit. Like I had like a San Lazaro. That shit was like this big, bro. You could put it on a table. That shit would stand up. That bitch was solid gold like that. I come from the era where like we all had dinner plates or for charms. Um, Che had a fucking Mustang convertible um 5.0. It was white with gold Dayton's on it, and it had a burgundy rag top. He was 16 when we bought that, and we bought it. And if we got pulled over by the cops with the rims, Dayton's, and all, they towed it. Okay, and we went and got another one. The irresponsibility that the way we were raised, we didn't save shit, no money. I can't say every night was bad. We had a couple good nights, but that's how life is, man. And it just, before you know it, man, you caught up, man. And I fell hard. I fell through all the pitfalls, bro. Every fucking thing I believed in. One day I woke up and I realized that everything I was fighting for was bullshit. And my entire existence was a lie. That was one of the worstest days of my life. When I realized that my homeboys were sending me, like they weren't they weren't really all my friends. We all had to grow up. Some of us got families, most of us died. I buried like 16 of my friends. So most of my friends all died by bullets. And that's true. None of them died by natural causes. A couple of them died by an overdose. Crazy fucking drug stories and shit. Like Eric. Eric, I almost said his last name. My bag. My bag. He was so big, right? He had no neck. This motherfucker's traps were like this big. He was beast, and he got drunk, popped some perks. Eric was huge. His arms, his forearms were 19 inches. He was big. He was benching like 500 plus. He was real big, and he was sitting in his Cadillac, and he threw up. But his neck was so big, he was so drunk and perked out that he couldn't lean forward. He drowned on his own vomit in the car while we were outside the car chilling, looking at him, thinking he was just nodding off like that. He died like that. They thought he was just in the car like this. He was so fucking big. When we touched him, he was cold and stiff. And I was like, that's how that big motherfucker died? I was like, bro, I thought he'd probably get gunned down and hail of bullets. Somebody gonna be like, look at this fucking rhino, and fucking started shooting him because he was that big. I always thought he was gonna get gunned down or something, but he died drowning on his own fucking throw up. Go figure. It was crazy. But how I got here, I have no idea anymore. It's just life shit, bro. Life shit and the shit that they got us thinking in the world about who we are as people. You know what I'm saying? I like I told you guys that day I woke up and I realized my whole life was a lie. There was no need for me at any point to go up and walk around with the gang because I was fighting a little bit in the neighborhood. There was no need for me to need money at like 13. Like, what was why did the world have me thinking I had to carry a burner? And my sister like proved it to me. We lived in the same house, under the same roof, same mom and dad. Every time I left the house, I went down to the hood. Every time she left, she went to the library. Same house, same circumstances. She graduated high school, graduated college, and is very successful today. I'd be lying if I told you her house wasn't valued at $1 million right now. She bought it at 600 and something thousand. So what? All right, I know that. But since she's had it, it's almost I'm pretty sure that house is about 1 million right now. So, but my point was, same house. I chose to go down that street. I chose to go hang out with these dudes. I always was the type of person that I always blamed it that I was a victim of my circumstances. That if I didn't live in this neighborhood and I didn't have these mom and these parents, and if I had a better group or better upbringing, I would have been a better person. And I blamed that for years. I never took responsibility. I never stopped to look at what I did. Every day, like clockwork, I got up, went out, looked for my homies, went about my day, whatever I did. But that's what I chose to do. When it was time to pay the price, that I was calling my mom on a collect call, and I was like, Mom, sorry, this and that. And that you realize, if you ever realize, some of these motherfuckers never, I was in there like trying to get bail and get out of that motherfucker. I didn't want to be around them, right? This dude was like almost 50 something years old at the time, still talking like if he was 17 years old, repping the hood. And I'm looking at him and I'm saying to myself, fuck. Like, you mean to tell me you're proud of birthing your own children and putting their first gun in their hand, giving them their first tattoo, and being birthed into a gang? That's what's the life expectancy of your son? At any moment, that's what you want for him? And that's how I started viewing it. The day I viewed myself as a son was one of the days I woke up. Meaning, you know how like kids always say, what kind of dad are you? What kind of mom? And like in the 90s, they try to make like all dads deadbeat dads behind child support. That was a thing to degrade fathers in the hood, so that you got your ghetto daughter or son talking about you don't pay child, like money was based off love. Now the amount you pay to the government is based off how much of a father you are. See, and that's how one of the gimmicks that they would change us with. So like me myself, like I I knew I knew it was bad when I knew it was bad when like we no longer respected our parents I think that's where I lost my way. Lost my way there because I realized that day too that if you don't respect nothing, you have to respect something in this world. There has to be something that can slow you down. Either your mom, your dad, your brother, somebody, a pastor, a priest, somebody can say something to you to if you live your life where that it's just you, then you're gonna become that type of person that demands respect but doesn't live by respect. And those kind of men are never really respected. It's a false sense of respect. So like we just gotta start doing a better job, man. And the message they're putting out is so strong that I'm not sure if we can ever go back. These kids are living by this shit. They look just like the rap videos. And then rappers, like, they're like that's the most dangerous job in the world now, is becoming a rapper. Whenever you hear your son say, "Hey, I want to be a rapper," his life expectancy is not that long. How many rappers nowadays live to turn old? Busta Rhymes probably one of them and shit. And where did he go? And the rest of these dudes is getting gunned down everywhere. Every time you turn on the TV, a new rapper is dead. Yep, yeah. Little J, little TJY just got gunned down. Little Ashtray got his head blown off. Little it's always somebody little. Always get man. We some fools, man, for falling for this shit. And I hated myself for a long time for being a participant in it. Yeah, I was. But you gotta wake up sometimes, right? Shit's crazy. So, fight fans, listen, I don't know. Some days we have other things to talk about than just boxing, right? You know, there's a lot of things going on in the world, and no matter how you view it, be careful, love yourselves. And my suggestion to you guys, family first. My second suggestion to you guys, learn your community. Go outside and whatever feuds you have with your neighbors or the others, and find a way. And then find a way to talk to them. Show them your vision. We need to be a little bit connected. The one thing I like about my neighborhood where I moved to right now is that if my daughter was to go down the street, all the families know who she is. So she can be at the corner, and if she's doing something she ain't supposed, they'll call me and be like, "Yo, your daughter's out here doing whatever," and I'll know about it because we know everybody kind of like knows each other. So at least in that part, I like that right there. Not from a big city like where I'm from, where like the internet has separated all of us. You go outside, you don't even fucking know your neighbor, but you know 1,000 people that live all over the fucking social media platform. You cool as fuck with all of them, but you can't be cool with your neighbor. The people that are going to be around you the closest, if ever a crisis pops off, are these people. And the world got us further away from them than ever before. Listen, fight fans, my name is Edwin. I'm always your host here at Round One Sports TV. I hope you had an amazing time. I meant to talk boxing, drifted off a little bit today. I hope you didn't mind the conversation. And we'll get back here. I'll see you guys tomorrow. There's plenty of boxing to talk about. It ain't going anywhere. Seems like the PBC is here to stay. Top Rank is doing their thing, and let's see where a lot of where this takes us, guys. Let's see where, you know, what happens. But I'm on the line that as long as we're keeping boxing alive and we're bringing these fights and we're starting to work together, that there's uh there's an opportunity at a better future for boxing. My message has always been, no matter what you guys do, I know the sanctioning bodies are take out this money and some fighters. Where's the money go? What do you mean where the money go? Do you ask the government where your money and your taxes go to? Do you need them to explain that to you? Where this percentage is going to these organizations and belts? They should make money too. They're providing you with a world stage and a belt prestigious enough that every champion before them wore it. And they were the organization that made it. You think that that should be free? You're going to stop some people from making money? Don't worry about that. Just worry about getting one. All right? And talk to me then. So Fight fans, love yourselves. From me to you, here at Round One Sports TV.